breaking news. 50 brave Burkina soldiers have been killed, not in an accident, not in training, but on the front lines, fighting for their people, fighting for their homeland, fighting for the right of Burkina Faso to live free, without fear, without foreign control. This is not just a tragedy, this is a turning point. And what happened on that dusty battlefield in Dargo is a story every African, every patriot needs to hear. It was just before dawn in northern Burkina Faso. The base at Dargo had been quiet through the night, but the soldiers were tense. For weeks, intelligence had warned that jihadist fighters were on the move, possibly preparing a large strike. The air was cool, the desert winds carrying faint sounds in the distance. Then, a single gunshot cracked through the silence. Seconds later, chaos erupted. Motorcycles roared out of the darkness. Pickup trucks mounted with heavy machine guns charged toward the base. Dozens, then hundreds of jihadist fighters poured in from all directions. The ground shook as RPGs exploded against the perimeter walls. The sky turned orange with the fire of burning vehicles. Inside the base, the Burkina soldiers scrambled to their positions. Captain Soumaïla Traoré, the commanding officer on duty, grabbed his radio. Open quote, "Positions, positions. This is not a drill. Defend the line." Close quote. The first wave hit hard. Machine guns roared. Snipers picked targets from the high ground. Mortars fell dangerously close to the command center. The soldiers fought back with everything they had. M4 rifles, PKM machine guns, even old DSHK heavy guns mounted on trucks. For hours, they held. But the enemy kept coming. Among the soldiers that morning was Sergeant Ibrahim Zongo, a 28-year-old father of two. He had joined the army after jihadists killed his older brother in 2019. To him, this fight was personal. As the enemy broke through one section of the wall, Zongo led a small counterattack, pushing them back with grenades and relentless fire. Even after taking a bullet to the arm, he refused to fall back. He shouted to his men, open quote, "They will not take this base while we are still breathing," close quote. Then there was Private Mamadou Ouedraogo, only 21 years old. The youngest in his unit, he was known for his calm smile, even in the worst moments. During the attack, he ran through open fire to rescue a wounded comrade lying in the dirt. He dragged him back to cover, took a deep breath, and went back into the fight. And there was Lieutenant Jean-Baptiste Compaoré, a quiet, thoughtful officer who always wrote letters to his mother before every mission. He commanded the heavy weapons team, directing anti-vehicle fire that destroyed 2 jihadist pickup trucks. When his position came under mortar fire, he stayed at his post until the very last second, ensuring his men could withdraw safely. He never made it out. By mid-morning, the situation was desperate. The jihadists had breached multiple sections of the base. Smoke and dust choked the air. The defenders were running low on ammunition. Still, they refused to surrender. Captain Traoré ordered a final stand near the command building. The surviving soldiers formed a tight defensive circle, rifles up, grenades ready. They knew what was coming. The enemy launched one last massive assault, screaming war cries, firing wildly, trying to break the defenders' will. But the Burkina soldiers stood their ground. One by one, they fell, but not before taking enemies with them. When the smoke cleared, the jihadists retreated, but at a terrible cost. 50 Burkina soldiers lay dead. When word reached Ouagadougou, the capital was stunned. Across the country, flags were lowered to half-mast. Families wept, villages fell silent, radio stations played mournful music. And yet, amid the grief, something else rose: anger. The people of Burkina Faso know this is not just an attack on soldiers. It is an attack on the nation's dignity. It is a test of its resolve, and it will not go unanswered. Burkina Faso's fight against jihadism did not begin yesterday. For over a decade, the Sahel has been a battlefield. Extremist groups, many linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS, have exploited political instability, poverty, and porous borders to launch their war. The violence has claimed tens of thousands of lives across Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. For years, Burkina Faso relied on foreign military support, particularly from France. But despite their presence, the attacks grew worse. Communities fell, soldiers died. The people began to question whose interests were really being protected. In 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traoré led a military takeover, vowing to put Burkina Faso's sovereignty first. French troops were asked to leave. The country turned to its neighbors, Mali and Niger, forming the Alliance of Sahel states. For the first time in years, Burkina Faso was fighting its war on its own terms. The Dargo attack is more than a battlefield clash. It is a warning. The jihadists want to prove that Burkina Faso's new path will fail. They want to break the will of the army. They want to terrify the people. But history shows the opposite effect. When Burkina Faso is attacked, it becomes more united. The people and the military stand closer together. The determination to win grows stronger. To everyone watching this right now, remember, these 50 soldiers are not just names. They are the shield that stood between chaos and your family. They are the reason villages sleep at night. They gave their lives so others could live. And if you believe in honoring that sacrifice, if you believe in defending your land, your culture, your people, then you cannot stay silent. This is our fight, not just the army's fight. Our fight. Burkina Faso will bury its dead, but it will also prepare for what comes next. The jihadists will return, and when they do, they will find a nation more ready, more united, more determined than ever before. The names of Zongo, Ouedraogo, Compaoré, and dozens more will live in the hearts of Burkina Faso forever. Their courage will inspire future generations. Their blood will water the tree of freedom. Africa is watching, the world is watching, and the message is clear. Burkina Faso will not fall. It will rise, it will fight, and it will win.